What's up, guys? This is Kendall from New Generation Media, and I'm here with EJ.
What's up,
and
guys?
we literally just saw the Runaways, the Marvel's Runaways 2018 New York Comic Con panel. And EJ, this was a very fascinating panel. Were we here last year for Runaways?
We were. If you guys remember, we did a video about it last year, and I made a bold statement saying that the Runaways pilot episode that we saw at Comic Con 2017 was the best comic book related pilot I had ever seen.
And that wasn't the first episode of the Runaways we've seen at New York Comic Con.
No.
Because this year we also saw the first episode of season 2, EJ.
Yeah.
And overall, though, what were your impressions of the panel from start to finish?
Well, talking about the panel first, it was a little interesting because they brought the cast out, they brought the showrunner, one of the showrunners out, but they didn't talk that much. It was kind of weird. It started a little late, so they kind of threw the cast up there, asked them one or two questions, and then threw up the whole episode. But we did get a little bit of information about a lot of this season is going to focus on the relationship between Carolina and Nico. We see the relationship between Gert and Chase, and those are going to be facets of the show, along with the trust within the team. And we see even in the first episode that it's very tenuous.
Yes. And a big kind of focus of this season is going to be the relationship not only between the team and amongst themselves, but the team and their parents. Because obviously these characters are on the run, EJ.
Yeah.
And the parents are looking for their kids, and there will be moments where these characters will interact with their parents. We saw a trailer that was also shown where we see some of the characters interacting with their parents, so that's certainly going to be interesting. But from that first episode, what were some of your takeaways from what we may be seeing? Obviously, no spoilers, what we may be seeing for this season.
Well, I think the first episode starts pretty much kind of where it left off last season, with the teens now officially runaways on the run. We see the kind of result of Alex's family's plan to cast them as kind of kidnappers of Molly, and how that works out. And it's kind of interesting to see they kind of do a funny thing with that. But yeah, it starts off with them pretty much on the run, and then them facing the realization of what it is to be homeless in Los Angeles as teenagers. They deal with homeless people, they deal with people with mental disability, they deal with people with drug addiction, and it affects everyone on the cast differently. I think Gert's reaction to seeing this up close and personal, being someone who is such a prominent social justice advocate, seeing it up close and personal definitely brings a different aspect to the episode.
Yeah, I would say living in Brentwood is a lot different than living in the slums of Los Angeles. I thought this episode was very, very interesting because we also saw kind of an introduction, obviously, from what we saw last season, but it really picked you up into season 2 and what we're going to see going forward in the season. And one of the things that was mentioned in the panel in the Q&A portion, which I thought was interesting, was a gentleman asked whether or not the Runaways would cross over a Cloak and Dagger, and Jeff Loeb, Marvel Television executive, couldn't answer.
Yeah.
So that made it seem as if maybe it's not a guarantee that Cloak and Dagger, the Freeform show that's also a Marvel Television series, could very well be teaming up with the Runaways in the near future. And one more thing is that it looks like we're going to get a lot of new Runaways on this team as well.
Yeah, the question was asked, will we see new additions to the team, new Runaways? And by the looks of Jeff Lowe's answer was kind of like he couldn't say much. And then seeing the trailer that they released a trailer for the season at the end of the panel that kind of displayed, okay, there are going to be some newer kids that they're going to also be interacting with that may also be a part of the team. And then one of the biggest kind of overhanging questions about the panel I thought was who's the mole, or will there be a mole?
Yes.
People who are familiar with the canon know that that is a large factor in the story, and it's a game changer. And again, the cast, the showrunners, and Jeff Loeb kind of hesitated to kind of go into detail about that, and it's prominent in this episode as well. So it was an exciting panel. I thought the episode was pretty good. I don't think it was as good as the last year's. Last year's pilot, which was just spectacular, but I think it was a nice setup to what looks like it's going to be a very action-packed season. There was anything I did take away was that they tried to emphasize that you're going to see more powers, you're going to see more abilities, you're going to see more action. If there was any criticism that I saw was that this wasn't really a superhero show, I would say that that's great. I think it's different than everything else. But it seems like you're going to get a little more of those superhero elements in this season.
Yeah, and I feel like another interesting dynamic of this series will end up being the fact that it's going to be released all 12 episodes, all 13 episodes on December 21st on Hulu. So be sure to check it out if you're a fan of the Marvel Runaways. But For EJ, I'm Kendall. This has been New Generation Media. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe to New Generation Media. We do plenty of videos for New York Comic Con this weekend, so check us out. But again, for EJ, I'm Kendall. Peace.